Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey chapter
449.
39. It is the first day of the week, aka the Kamehameha workout. Feeling very good right now, very excited for this workout. But anyways, back to the main subject matter for today. Taking a week off from recording. So the main reason why I wanted to discuss this is because I took a week off from recording. It was very interesting, and I will get into the details of it, maybe why and all this other stuff. But it's been a week since I've actually recorded my workout. I did my workout, and we'll get into that other stuff in a little bit. But I will say it was a nice little bit of a break. Let me just put it like that. And I know this is going to sound like a weird thing here. And also you're going to have to believe me that I did the workouts, of course. But it's a very interesting experiment that I wanted to run, particularly for a lot of different reasons. But in today's episode, we're going to be looking at that and just my experience and some of the weird stuff that kind of ended up happening. So we'll talk about that and a few other things when we get to Mother Base.
All right, so started this day off with tips, which are pretty good. But anyways, back to the main subject matter for today. Taking a week off from filming. So the main reason why I wanted to discuss this is because this is actually something that happened 2 times now since the recording of this video, which is kind of funny that happened like that. But anyways, I think that the main reason why I wanted to do that is because a lot of stuff had gotten busy in my life. Basically, work had gotten busy and a whole other bunch of stuff. So I had to do a bunch of shit outside of the times that I would normally be doing videos and stuff. And although it doesn't seem like much, but doing these videos actually does add a little bit more time to these things than I thought it would. Technically, if I don't have to record, I save about 20 minutes or so, give or take, in totality, depending between the workout and not. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but in reality, those 20 minutes do kind of add up a little bit in a certain sense, because obviously 20 minutes per workout is a little bit more than, 20 minutes per workout is about an hour total, give or take, a little bit more, about an hour and 40 minutes a week, which is a lot more time that I was not realizing I was dedicating to making these videos, which is all right, I guess. I think that taking every once in a while off, especially because I can afford it, this has been going on long enough and I have enough subject matters that I'm not necessarily worried about what I'm going to talk about or anything like that, or even close. It's more of a timing issue at this point, and I think that this is probably going to continue to happen every once in a while, especially now because of the fact that the work has been so hectic recently. So I have to kind of sit back and take my time doing stuff outside of work, as well as work being to the point where I can't really sit down and edit anymore. So it's going to be like that until at least summertime. So that's going to suck, but it is what it is. I had to do this twice. So it's kind of funny. You'll notice that there are probably jumps in between a bunch of stuff because of the fact that I haven't been able to sit down and actually record any of these videos. Now, of course, this is just a shitty thing that kind of happens, but it is what it is. Thankfully, I have such a big backlog that doesn't necessarily even matter, and also a backlog of things to talk about. So I'm not even worried about it. But there were some things that made it very weird to do in the first place. For example, going in there and not having to film anything was kind of weird. I would look at myself where I would put at the camera to make sure it's recording a few times just to see if it was still there, and it not being there kind of hit trip day. Oh, you should be freaking out, you're not recording. But then it's oh, never mind, I'm good type of deal. As well as the idea that not recording it would make me so not want to do any of the workout, if that makes any sense. There's a certain level of commitment that is placed upon me, I personally feel, whenever I start recording. So because of that, I felt like I was worried that the commitment to the workout wouldn't be the same and I wouldn't be doing as much. But no, it was fine. It was all good. I still pushed it to the end and all that other stuff. So it wasn't that crazy of an idea per se, but it is weird to think about that there's a full week of missing footage, even though technically it never really existed in the first place. I like doing it every once in a while. This second time that I've done it, it's very nice because now I'm kind of used to it every once in a while, and I feel like there's less of a pressure of having to get everything done immediately, and has also let me kind of pick and choose certain days to kind of go at it and other days where I have some time to do it and maybe not have to do it on other days when I'm in a rush or something's happening and I can still get my workout in. Those 20 minutes, even though they don't seem like much, are a pretty good amount, and they really do add up, especially when there's not much time that I can have to do this stuff. So it is nice to be able to pull that out every once in a while. I don't know how many times I'm going to end up doing this. I don't know if I'm ever going to catch up to this backlog. That's the real issue that I probably have with a lot of this channel, is the fact that the backlog has gotten so immense that I could probably take a month off completely. That's what I did last year when I ruptured my hand, and I was fine. I completely had caught up with my backlog and had taken a month off, but that hadn't happened this year, thankfully. But it is just weird to do, I guess. I was worried very much, but thankfully it all worked out in the end, and I'm very happy about it. The only thing that kind of sucks is not having footage of the workout in a certain sense, just because even though I might not want it to show to the display of public, but I would rather just keep it for any reason like form check, or if something goes awry, I have it on video, that type of stuff, which is also kind of nice to see. If shit goes awry during a set, you can kind of see what's happening or see what went wrong, and that's the only thing that not recording your sets kind of takes away. You don't really sit there and actually analyze any of it, but it is the only real thing that's a drawback. But at the end of the day, as long as you're going at it, it doesn't necessarily truly matter unless you fuck yourself up. But thankfully and hopefully I don't be doing that now.
And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed, none. Exercises skipped, also none. Got everything in, thankfully. But anyways, back to the main subject matter for today. Taking a week off from recording. So the main reason why I want to discuss this is because it happened, really, and it was very nice, I have to say. I think I'm going to do it probably a little bit more often, especially with such a backlog, and also just kind of like whenever I'm going to have a known busy week for any reason or another, especially with work being sometimes a fucking pain in the ass, and getting outside of work, really, the working hours. So it is a very interesting, or at least an interesting feeling not recording stuff, but it's also weirdly freeing. I'm very much focused. I'm mono-focused on stuff. So it's kind of nice in that sense. But in other senses, I do feel like I can't get that creative outlet out like I can when I'm doing these videos. So it's kind of nice to get the ability to say stuff out, really, because sometimes I'm just like have it like bottled in, and I'm like, oh, this is a good video idea, oh, this is a good one. Like I have a bunch of them, but I just have it like contained, really, and I can finally get it out, so it's pretty nice overall. Generally, I would do it again. I probably will do it again, but it's one of those things that it was a learning curve for a little bit, just because it just felt weird. It was like a weird, like I haven't done this in such a long time. But obviously after a day or two, it got used to it. But it was there were a lot of things where I could just squeeze it in, and time was more efficient. But I think that's just personally what I need to do, is be more time efficient, really. But with that being said, tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts or opinions about this one. Kind of random, but not necessarily something that is a shared experience with everybody. I don't think anybody really ever records their workouts. It's more rare to find people who record their workouts than anything. But if you do, please let me know. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy. Stay safe out there and stay warm. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.